Hey, South Bay. I'm Jeff Pollard at solarpowerthepeople.org and Jeff Pollard 11. Once again, we have another great episode with another great guest. We're just swinging along. Hey, who are you? What are you about?
I am Ayca Miller.
Okay.
I reside in San Pedro, California.
All right.
I work for a SaaS company called Cantata, and I work a lot with HearAid Foundation as a volunteer and a board member. It's a local nonprofit.
Okay.
And I make jewelry on the side.
Tell me about those two things, because I believe that your jewelry also kind of intertwines with the nonprofit in so many ways. So
yeah.
How does that work?
So my husband and I moved from Chicago to Orange County in 2011.
Okay.
I'm hard of hearing, so I was looking at, nonprofits that help and give back to that community.
Okay.
And I was part of a newsletter list, and I got an email about a gala that was coming up, and I actually wanted to donate a piece of jewelry for their silent auction.
Okay.
And got connected with Tanya Penn, who's the president and co-founder of HearAid Foundation. We just hit it off. I love what they were doing. Basically, they give hearing aids to people at no cost who can't afford them.
Very cool. Well, thank you for that. I mean, talking to them when they watch it. But that's cool. So sounds like you have this kind of artistic skill, and then you wanted to continue down that path. So you started just creating. What kind of jewelry can we find? Is it rings, pendants? What?
So I do rings. I do a lot of beading and wire wrapping, earrings, necklaces, bracelets, stuff like that. Yeah.
And then is it one of those that if people purchase through there, proceeds go? Is that what I'm hearing also?
So 10% of proceeds always go to HearAid Foundation. Okay. But you can find me on my website. It's CRESCENTandStone.com. Okay. Admittedly, I don't keep that very up to date. I'm just so busy with other stuff. But I also am on Instagram as well. So Crescent and Stone.
Okay. Yeah. And then that's how they can find you. And then, is there any future plan or anything that we could help with in terms of getting the HearAid out there more, or just developing you with them, or is there any?
So HearAid Foundation, we typically help people in Southern California, but we have helped people in other states too, as long as you have an audiologist that's willing to work with us. So meaning if they're willing to fit at no or very little cost.
Yeah. And
because a lot of audiologists can't necessarily do that, but if they're willing to do that philanthropical side on their end, then we can work with them and order the hearing aids and get that to them at no cost. And the reason I think a lot of people aren't aware, a lot of insurance companies don't cover any cost of hearing aids.
Oh, wow.
Even a penny. I mean, I'm hard of hearing. I've worn hearing aids for most of my life since I was about 4, and I don't think it has once been covered by insurance. They deem it not medically necessary. Yeah. Which is bonkers.
I mean, how many senses do we have? And one of them's hearing. So
yeah,
that's a shame.
Right.
And that's cool that you found something that needs to fill that problem. Mm-hmm. And so excuse my ignorance, but it's this is a pro bono thing. So they don't need to have any weird health insurance in place just to work with you guys, right?
That's not ignorant at all. I appreciate that question. So there is, the California services that will help out children, for example, but there's a lot of red tape, and sometimes when you're dealing with a kid who's 6 months, 2 years old, they're trying to develop their language skills too. So if they're getting pushed back by 6 months to a year just to get hearing aid to help them hear better and learn the other skills, then we will be able to step in and help. But if they can get help from the state, that's great. Okay. It's just that we're seeing a lot of times that that's not happening at the rate that we would love, or at the percentage. A lot of people who apply for help don't actually get it. Yeah. And we don't only help kids. It's people of all ages. We've helped, grandparents. We've helped middle-aged folks. We've helped kids of all ages. I mean, obviously I have a sweet spot for the kids, but I also think, it's very impactful for them, but it's impactful for everyone to be able to hear to their fullest potential. Oh, yeah. And without that burden of, oh my gosh, it costs, $7,500 for a decent pair of hearing aids. That's how much mine costs.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I only know in terms of like glasses, and I can only imagine, you know, something you connect or even so I just
Yeah. And you have to replace them every 5 to 6 years.
Really?
Yeah, and some of them are rechargeable, but some of them are battery powered, so you have to buy batteries. I mean, like, none of those costs are covered.
It makes it, yeah. Do you guys help with that, or is it just this initial we want to give you the hearing aid? Like, do you continue then with other things that, like the battery and all that?
The ongoing stuff?
Yeah.
No, not the batteries, but I mean, so we have a lot of audiologists who are volunteers. We have a couple that are even on the board with HearAid Foundation, or we have a Seattle branch as well.
Oh, cool.
And so they will refer patients who they know need financial assistance, and not necessarily, like, we're not contributing part, we're like giving the hearing aid at no cost, and it is a great, you know, we order top of the line stuff. So it'll be like a hearing test, and then the initial fitting, and then I think the follow-up appointment as well. But then beyond that, it's usually, you know, the ongoing tests are up to the patient themselves.
But you can at least stick with them and direct them to different places or different things.
Yeah, because we have to be involved closely with the audiologist and work with them on what they think is going to work best for the patient's loss.
Okay.
I mean, there's such a wide spectrum of like hearing loss and what works best for them. There are so many different hearing aid manufacturers too. So it really depends on the audiogram.
Okay. Well, cool. Thank you so much for that. I definitely want, you know, you'll find her information where information's found. So, you know, please support where you can, whether it's, you know, time or money, right?
Yeah,
or
that's HearAid Foundation. On Instagram, and then HearAidFoundation.org is the website.
Okay, and that'll pop up.
We have a race coming up.
A race?
5K run.
Okay.
Which is a fundraiser in August. So August 18th, it's going to be at Miles Square Park in Fountain Valley.
I actually, thank you for saying that, because I did want to ask, when people sometimes do not know how to donate their money, but they do want to donate another, you know, their time or something. I'm glad you mentioned that. So please check that out when it comes out. I do like to finish this with, like, if you could make the world a better place, or just have any advice, big or small. You know, I like to go for a walk. I like to whatever. What is it that can just make this world a little less stressful, a little less crazy?
This is going to sound really weird and self-serving, but I feel like setting boundaries. I saw a post recently where they were like, before, you know, people under 40 ask a question, people over 40 answer the question. One of the questions was like, what have you found in your 40s that's really important that you didn't realize under 40? And I was like, setting boundaries. And also self-care. Just taking care of your mental health is so important. I feel like if we're not good, we can't take care of other people.
Oh, I like that.
Respecting everybody's it's hard to do, I think, for a lot of people, but like respecting everybody's take on things, and just kind of like not trying to force your own views and opinions on others.
So do what she says. No, but thank you, I really appreciate that. Ayca, please help her, HearAidFoundation.org and all that. I really appreciate it for you taking the time and all that. So
yeah, of course, I appreciate you too. Thanks for chatting with me.
All right, I'll do a take care, everybody, but then I'm just gonna actually move the camera all the way down to this beautiful.
This girl, that's Sadie.
Hopefully, I got that. All right, bye, everybody. Hey everybody, I have some exciting news. I wrote another kid's book, Uncle Dunkle. I drew the pictures, I wrote the story. Please support, I'd really appreciate it. I also wrote The Giraffe and the Lion. That's another one, so collect them all if you have kids or if you don't. It's just a fun read. Really appreciate it. Take care, everybody.